This week on his radio show, Howard Stern defended wokeism, saying it's a compliment when someone calls him woke. Listen.
If woke means I can't get behind Trump, which is what I think it means, or that I support people who want to be transgender, or I'm for the vaccine, well, dude, call me woke as you want. I'm not for stupidity, but I am woke, motherfucker, and I love it.
Oh dear, he swore. He swore that'll win over the woke. He's a regular Huey Newton of the Hamptons.
Well, I know some of them, and like Howard, I was on Howard Stern's show as much as anybody, and
yeah.
he was great at that time, and then he went woke.
Yeah.
And since he's gone woke, his ratings...
Howard Stern didn't just sell out, he held a liquidation sale on his own legacy. Greg Gutfeld and Donald Trump didn't just crash the scene. They came armed with flamethrowers, punchlines, and a sense of vengeance. The man once hailed as the king of shock has turned into the prince of predictable. Spoon-feeding lukewarm takes to the same establishment he used to incinerate. His fall from fearless to flavorless isn't just sad, it's cinematic. Gutfeld slices him apart with surgeon-level precision while Trump bulldozes through with the subtlety of a victory parade. Together, they don't just roast Stern, they host his retirement party. And the irony, it's so thick you could serve it with a side of regret.
Well, it is weird because he criticizes Trump for dividing the country, and then he says he hates his supporters. So he's not learning from his own analysis. I think he might have turned into the thing he hated. He needs to go back and watch the movie Private Parts and focus on how he portrayed Don Imus, because he's kind of turned into Don Imus in a way. It's a mix of ego and resentment.
Howard Stern, he's a weak guy. He's weak. He's going, what about, it was so ridiculous. Even she was embarrassed. It was like softball.
Self-proclaimed king of all media is now the king of all meltdowns. Watching Howard Stern today feels like witnessing a pyromaniac scold others for lighting candles. The man who once built an empire out of chaos now clutches pearls like he's hosting book club night at The View. If irony were currency, Howard could buy back his courage. This is the same rebel who mocked conformity, now begging for approval from the same crowd he used to roast. He traded his edge for applause from the elites. The man who once shouted truth into the storm now whispers permission slips to the mob. From shock to schmaltz, that's the real transformation.
Stern can call snacking with celebs at a fancy restaurant exhausting. Exhausting. Like he finished the overnight shift in a coal mine. Or hearing Kat talk about her pets.
Fair.
But I get it, life is tough, especially when you've been cut off from the world for 2 years in a $20 million beach house. I mean, you have no idea how tiring it is walking all the way from the wine cellar to the tennis court and back.
Gutfeld doesn't even need a full monologue to roast this version of Stern, just a mirror. Picture Howard staring at what he used to be, raw, fearless, unfiltered. Now he's a reboot written by HR. And then comes Trump, swinging words like wrecking balls wrapped in gold leaf. Watching Trump talk about Stern now feels like a legend pitying a tribute band. He's not angry, he's amused. Because the contrast is brutal. The rebel who once set the airwaves on fire is now terrified of static. Gutfeld and Trump don't have to exaggerate. Howard's decline is doing all the work for them.
The opposite of woke to me is asleep, and I think I'm awake. This must have gotten Trump all charged up, because at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, technically Sunday morning, he starts tweeting out, Howard Stern is a broken loser, jerk off, not loyal, the usual, tirade. And I thought to myself, I'll tell you my thought on it was, what?
Stern went from pressing every button to asking for permission before pressing record. The guy who once terrified censors now makes corporate execs feel safe. Remember when he was dangerous? The man who made entire networks panic now makes Joy Behar look like a bar brawler. He's not edgy, he's ergonomic. The same mouth that once launched shockwaves now delivers bedtime stories for the status quo. Howard used to push boundaries. Now he's their brand ambassador. The king of chaos became the concierge of comfort.
That Stern hit a chic restaurant in NYC with a crew of A-listers, including Jimmy Kimmel, Jennifer Aniston, Jon Hamm, Justin Theroux, Jason Bateman. I was not invited. I guess because my first name doesn't begin with the letter J.
Gutfeld zeroes in on Stern's fall like a sniper in a clown show. The rebel turned rule. The man who mocked celebrity vanity now vacations with it. He once humiliated Hollywood, now he hosts their pool parties. It's not evolution, it's evaporation. Howard's terrified of being cancelled, checking every word like it's a loaded gun. The fearless broadcaster is now a fragile brand manager. Gutfeld calls it perfectly. The same guy who built his career breaking rules now apologizes for existing. Howard didn't lose relevance, he surrendered it.
Howard, I knew him very well. I was on the show many times. I used to think he was good. Then I dropped him. And I dropped him like a dog. And his ratings are very challenged. Very challenged.
Sure. Fear's real, but old school Howard would have laughed at it. That Howard lived for backlash. This one sends preemptive apologies. It's the Benjamin Button of rebellion, shrinking into safety. Trump, meanwhile, laughs like a lion watching a house cat meow. His very presence rattles Stern into another existential spiral. Howard's so scared of offending anyone, he probably needs permission to sneeze. Gutfeld, with his trademark smirk and barroom philosopher energy, dissects Stern's blandness like it's a lab experiment gone wrong. The insult isn't that Howard's fake, it's that he's boring. Once unpredictable, now painfully programmed. He bulldozed barriers. Now he builds them.
Also, vote for that wall over there.
Well, he's half right. We do need a wall. To keep out gang members, fentanyl dealers, human traffickers, and Anna Navarro. What's funny, though, is that Stern actually thought that was a compliment. Stern has become such a wussified sycophant, he doesn't realize that telling Kamala that he'd vote for a wall is telling her that he knows she's as dumb as one.
Gutfeld jokes that Stern's mic should come with a seatbelt and a sorry button. Every show sounds pre-approved by a focus group. His once legendary interviews, sanitized beyond recognition, like a rock concert sponsored by hand sanitizer. Then Trump swoops in with a grin, calling it as he sees it. Howard's not a rival, he's a relic. The man who mocked elites now hosts them. Trump doesn't even need to punch, pointing out Stern's guest list is enough. The irony's rich. The rebel became a red carpet ornament, once biting, now the hunter turned house pet of Hollywood hypocrisy.
Kat, I find that his definition of wokeism is very simplistic. I mean, it's like, it's not about COVID jabs.
I didn't get that either. He was like, I love the vaccine. I'm woke.
It's not unlike Howard Stern. I mean, talk about a transition. On Tuesday, he conducted an interview with Kamala Harris that was so simpering and feminine, I got my period while listening to it.
Stern still clings to the fantasy that remembering rebellion equals being rebellious. It's like a washed-up rock star bragging about old tour dates. Gutfeld doesn't need to exaggerate. Howard's writing the jokes himself. The man who made radio history now sounds like an instruction manual. Every broadcast is a safety seminar. Trump just shakes his head, amused, not threatened. A decade ago, one Trump sneeze made bigger headlines than Howard's whole show. And those ratings, they've nosedived so deep, they qualify as archaeological finds. The fans didn't disappear. They just woke up. The rebel they loved became the routine they escaped.
Even when I watch them on Saturday Night Live with the where they have Maya Rudolph playing you, I hate it. I don't want you being made fun of.
Oh my God.
There's too much at stake. I believe the entire future of this country right now, I mean, as America, land of the free, home of the brave, I think it's literally on the line.
So a guy who's supposed to be funny for a living now claims her candidacy is too important to joke about. This is a guy who once joked right after the Columbine massacre that the killers should have raped the students before killing them. Not that I like that shirt.
Gutfeld lands the final blow. Not cruel, just honest. He doesn't mock the man. He mocks the void left behind. Stern once terrified power. Now he obeys it. The loudest voice in radio has become an echo in the hallways of corporate approval. The man who built unpredictability now runs on autopilot. Every broadcast, every pause, every laugh feels calculated. He's surrounded by handlers, flattery, and fear. The rebel became a brand. Trump doesn't even need a rebuttal. What could Howard say? Call him soft? That's like a balloon trying to pop a tank. The old Howard burned bridges. The new one builds PR campaigns.
It is incredibly brave to take this stance after you've made $300, $400 million not being woke. right? Loving Donald Trump, exploiting the mentally ill, wearing blackface. Look at the crop of woke comics, whether it's Stern or Jimmy Kimmel, his BFF, Sarah Silverman, Joy Behar, Michael Ian Black. What do they all have in common? They wore blackface. And then they went woke. It's not a chicken or egg thing there. You know what order it came. So I call this BFR. It's blackface reparations. There's nothing in Stern's previous career that could withstand this modern witch hunt that he now embraces.
Every attempt Howard makes to reclaim his edge, Gutfeld is right there, stopwatch in hand, marking the irony. The rebel who swore he'd never bow to Hollywood now curtsies for it. Howard didn't evolve. He erased himself. Gutfeld's monologue becomes a eulogy for authenticity, the story of a man who traded conviction for convenience. Because when you become the thing you mocked, the only ones left cheering are the ones you used to expose. Trump's presence alone is the ultimate punctuation. Stern's not trending for what he says, he's trending for what he's become. The shock jock turned self-parody.
I really had an exhausting weekend. Emotionally, physically. For the first time in 2 years, I ventured out of the house. Now, maybe he's exaggerating. We all do that. In fact, the more successful you get in media, the more exhausting the easiest things become.
Trump watches the collapse like a man enjoying front row seats at a demolition derby. This isn't rebirth, it's surrender. Stern didn't rise. He reclined, deep into the couch cushions of elite approval. He no longer makes headlines. He reads them carefully to stay invited. Gutfeld's pen keeps slicing while Trump just spins circles around his reputation. Howard's biggest fear isn't being offensive, it's being forgotten. But that ship didn't just sail, it sank. He's now a living PSA about what happens when rebellion gets domesticated. The lion turned lapdog. Gutfeld laughs, Trump smirks, and Howard keeps apologizing for his own shadow.
He swore that'll win over the woke. He's a regular Huey Newton of the Hamptons. Here's my theory. Wokeism is a contagion. Stern got it from Jimmy Kimmel, his new best friend, and Kimmel got it from his wife, and his wife got it from where you get all infections, a toilet.
No need for a punchline. Howard Stern is the punchline. And the tragic part, he keeps writing new material for it. Every broadcast sounds like a LinkedIn post disguised as a personality. The man who once roasted Hollywood now begs for brunch invites. His new brag, who he didn't offend. That's not progress, it's purgatory. Gutfeld doesn't even have to write jokes. He just replays old clips of Howard being alive. Trump doesn't need to speak. One eyebrow raise says it all. The fall isn't sad because it happened, it's sad because it's public. While Howard basks in applause from the same elites who once feared him, Gutfeld and Trump are still doing what he forgot how to, calling out the circus from outside the tent, not performing inside it.